Today is March 14th, so we're calling it Pie Day. We'll be reading a story about pies and making a pie in the kitchen. Pie in the Sky by Lois Ehlert. This tree was here when we moved in. Dad says it's a pie tree. I've never seen pies growing on trees. Wouldn't that be something? Dad showed me buds on our tree today. He says that's a good sign, but we won't know till summer if we'll get pie. Winter's finally over. Sweet spring is here at last. Buds we saw last fall are bursting into bloom. But now a damp wind is blowing, and all the flower petals are falling down like rain. You know what I think? Something's finally growing on that tree of ours. The birds sure sound excited. I wonder what's going on. Uh-oh, now I see. It's a cherry feast. But hey, raccoon, save some for us. At last, Dad says it's time for us to pick cherries. We're going to make a pie. First, we wash the cherries. We squeeze out all the pits and save the juice. Then we put the cherries in a bowl. We add the juice, flour, sugar, and cinnamon and stir it with a spoon. Next, we mix the pie crust dough. We roll out 2 pie crusts and press one in the pan. Then we pour the filling in. We add the top crust, put the pie in the oven, and wait for it to bake. Now Dad cuts the pie. He puts a piece on each plate. Wow, that was the best pie I've ever eaten. We're making peach blueberry pie, and for that recipe you will need flour, sugar, butter, salt, ice water, egg, peaches, blueberries, and lemon. The first thing you'll need to do is place 3 cups of flour and 2 sticks of butter in the freezer, and make sure that the butter you've cut into 1/2 inch cubes. After 30 minutes, when the flour and butter have been getting nice and cold, you'll take them out and put the flour in a large bowl whisked together with 2 tablespoons of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon salt. Then you'll add your butter, and using a pastry blender or a dough cutter, you will cut those ingredients together until you have the consistency where the butter is about the size of small peas. Some larger and some bigger is fine. Now you'll add the ice water 1 tablespoon at a time to your mixture and mixing in between. And you want to do this just until the dough starts to come together. You don't want it too sticky. It's okay if your dough is a little crumbly. If you can't get it together to form into a ball, then keep adding the ice water, but only 1 tablespoon at a time. Now, you'll take your dough mixture all together and put it into a piece of wax paper and then press it down until it's a disc shape. Let's make 2 of these, since we're doing a pie that has 2 crusts. Wrap the dough up in plastic wrap or wax paper and place in the fridge for at least 2 hours to chill. You can also leave it in there overnight. If you are making this right away, just place it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. While the dough is chilling, we'll make our filling. We're using 3 cups of frozen peaches that we thawed and drained, and we're going to use 1.5 cups of frozen blueberries. Obviously, fresh fruit is better for this, but it depends on the season and what fruit is available. To our fruit, we'll add 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix that together, and then we'll set it aside. Now comes my favorite part. We're going to start rolling out our crust. So we'll take one of our pieces of dough and gently start to roll it out with a rolling pin. Make sure your surface is covered with flour, and you can use the flour to coat your rolling pin as well. You're going to start just by gently pressing from the center outwards, and it takes a lot of patience, but remember, just start very gently, and this way your dough won't crack. Once we've got our dough out to about 10 inches in diameter, we'll lay it on top of a pie pan. At this time, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees, and let's add the filling to our bottom pie crust. And now we'll put the top crust on. I think that looks good. Now we're going to make an egg wash. Just crack 1 egg in a small bowl and whisk it with a fork to break it up. And then we're going to brush this over the top crust to give it that golden color after it cooks. We'll place the pie pan on a cookie sheet that's been lined with parchment paper, just in case we have any bubbling. Now we'll put it in and bake it for 25 minutes at 400. Then we're going to lower the heat to 375 and continue baking for another 45 to 55 minutes. When your crust looks golden brown and the filling is bubbling, you should be done.